This is kind of unusual for me to have a golf lesson. What I do is pretty hardwired.
Yes, Tony.
Yeah, my body doesn't work in certain ways, and I think it might.
Well, the last time we were on a range together would have been you teaching me when
know,
I was
yeah.
19 years old, so this feels like a role reversal.
Brilliant, mate.
26
It's
years
got to be
later?
26 or 27 years ago.
It is. It is.
Like Yoda and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Am I going to just hit a few looseness?
Yes, please. Tony, he definitely is my Yoda. That competitive spirit, of course, with yourself and with the people you're playing with, but it's more about enjoying the game and appreciating the good shots and accepting, look, I'm going to hit some bad shots today because I don't play much.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to accept sometimes, but
I often say that people go from being a participant, they go from being a sampler,
yeah,
let's try this game, to being a participant, I really enjoy this. Some people then go to become a competitor.
yeah,
And all of that's quite linear, it's quite easy.
yeah.
But the bit that's a bit harder is when you've been a competitor to go back to being a participant.
Yeah.
That's the bit that's a bit harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you kind of go, I remember I used to hit it over that bunker, or I used to, this one here, just a little fade and a bit of a drop to the right and a little bit of stopper. You haven't got that shot in your bag.
No. Lovely swing in it.
So tempoed.
It is now.
Oh.
Always have a nice swing, Tony.
I have tried to maintain reasonable amount of golf. This last year it's fallen off a cliff. There has been nobody that I've particularly said I work with,
Yeah.
or that I've, sort of consistently followed or anything such like. Not for any reason. Not because I've sort of gone to somebody and said that's not for me. I just haven't gone to anybody
No, you just
particularly.
took bits from here and there.
Except for you.
I feel very honoured.
No
I do
pressure.
feel very honoured to be
You'll be the
honest.
first person that I've said, hey, listen, can I have a, can you have a
Yeah.
look at me?
Yeah, it's a privilege.
Because,
It really is. That was a bit different, that one.
That was definitely different. That was more what I wanted. That
Yeah, you moved different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you moved different. Did you
didn't
sense
feel anything
anything?
different. Sadly,
Very
didn't feel
different.
anything
Very,
different.
very different.
Yeah, good.
Very different. That was very interesting. Cool. Right, Tony, we're going to start off
Cool.
with these. Essentially what this is doing, it's sending the pressure all the way around. You go around the whole foot. So it's articulating we're seeing what the ankle articulation's like, and with that the hip as well. So we're connecting the hips to the ankles.
Jeez.
Yeah. But this is what I'm seeing. This disconnect. We've got to get the hips and the ankles talking to each other. And the knees are in the middle of this. But I just want the bag to swing, Tony, side to side, up and down, so
Okay.
there's no rotation of it.
Okay.
That's it. And I want you to notice while you're doing this, keep going while I'm talking, the timing of how you're using the board in relation to the swinging of that bag. What's moving first?
Feet. Feet. That's what I feel.
Yeah. Keeping the bag there, and just bang it back, and then we go. So that's still too early. Way too early. Yes. Good. And the other way. And through. Yes, there we go. Good. Feel the difference?
You can only focus on one side
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah. But you know, when you focus on one side, you get the other side for free. So the thing is, because it's an eccentric loading, so you're getting a stretch, using the stretch reflex.
Oh.
So what we're seeing, which is kind of your issue, is club head speed.
Absolutely.
As a good player, you've got educated hands. So the thing is that you can go for the speed to the hands. You can get the torque from the wrists and the shoulders. You get big rotations, but it's an easy cheat really. But the problem is there's a trade-off. We want the torques to be coming through the ankles, the hips, through the big rotational joints. But if we're not moving the pressure to enable those joints to move, and we're not recognising the momentum that actually creates, then we're probably not going to let ourselves go that far. So the nervous system kicks in, it knows what it knows, and what we're doing here is we're obviously testing the threshold.
Yep.
So it's threshold training. We're going beyond your normal parameters, living life outside those, not in an injurious way because it's functional for you.
So I have a question, just a simple question.
Yeah.
When I try, because sometimes when I get a little bit out of sync,
Yeah.
I say a little bit out of sync, even more out of sync than I normally am, I try and lag the club.
Yeah.
So I kind of leave the club there, try and move to the right first, and then let it go.
Yeah.
And it sort of seems to get me back into some kind of sync.
Yeah.
This feels very similar to that.
Yes.
So it feels like from here, what you said to me, is that when this moves first, there's this kind of lag that it's moved over
Yeah.
here. Once it's moved over here, then of course then it can go on.
Yeah.
I kind of get that same sensation as I would do when I lag.
Yeah. We don't twist, so you're wanting to twist first before you flex. So if you go stand up to twist back, now before you twist the disc, go back into flexion. Don't twist the disc yet. Come back. Just go to flexion because you've got to use extension to twist. Now flex back here, flex down, just drop, bend your knees, and then extend your knees to twist back. That's it. So you use an extension to rotate. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And the body's probably not, obviously it's tricky, but the body's not used to using that much extension.
Not at all.
So if you're not extending to rotate, we're probably not tapping into these big vertical forces.
I spent a lot of time when I was a kid trying to make sure that I stayed here.
Yeah. Covering the ball, how often do we hear that?
Absolutely.
But what are you covering it with? So the thing is it's actually lateral flexion, right lateral flexion, that's actually giving the feeling possibly, or the impression that we're covering the ball, because there's a lateral with it. What we're actually doing is we're going into flexion, but then as we're extending, we're side bending to get to the golf ball, because therefore we can keep flexions with the levers ready to extend. But if we think about covering, the thing is everything stays in flexion for too long. If you love the coaching, but you're not able to get a lesson and want to experience the transformation for yourself, the closest thing you can do to get a lesson is buy a Zen GRF Infinity training system and experience the same things that you're seeing my pupils go through in a lesson. It's a training tool that allows you to discover your swing naturally, and a 2-hour download of all the exercises that enable my pupils to tap into those forces and find their most natural, efficient golf swing.
Well, certainly my arms feel higher, for sure.
Right.
And I feel that left eye.
And you feel what?
The left eye.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Have a couple of shots.
Swing felt a lot faster, that's for sure.
Did it?
That's top leg.
Yeah.
Both sides, top leg.
You let yourself go a bit more then.
Yeah, both sides felt different there.
So you've got some momentum just
Okay.
to throw it back with, you know, like you did with the bag. So we're getting used to controlling the mass of the club in space around us. This exercise is not to actually mimic a swing, it's just to explore how much extension and how much you can let the pelvis elevate. Let it just use that momentum.
Price of the shambo, that one.
I know.
Use that momentum.
You don't pay the price.
Use the club's momentum. That's it. Shot Taylor.
Yeah, sure.
Get that one in the middle of the club, it's good. Definitely feeling my toes a lot more.
Oh yeah.
So they're obviously doing a lot more work.
Yeah.
They're really doing
They're
a
not
lot
gripping,
more
are they?
work. No, I don't think so. I think they're just, I'm feeling them.
Just feeling them being used.
Yeah.
Pushing off.
That felt freer through the ball. It feels bigger, and I feel like I'm more free. Having gone, I feel like I've been freed to go forward. Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, that's perfect. This is so different for you, Tony, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You're creating lag from the ground. Lag's more of a temporal thing. So you can leave the club as way far behind you as you like. Let it react.
That contact felt way better.
That was superb. Feel?
Different, totally different. Marcus, totally different. I mean, all of this kicks back, you know, because, you know, you stand on the tee, because I'm not good in rough, for obvious reasons. I hit everything on the bottom roof.
Yeah.
So if you stand on the tee, you go better at the fairway.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit it on the fairway.
Yeah, steering.
Because it all just kind of falls back. Yeah, a little bit steery. But certainly not as free as it should be. I feel like I'm going this way. In the knee,
Yeah.
the upper body, whether that's correct or not, I don't know, but that's what it feels like.
Well, if you want to move away from something, you're going to have to move towards it first.
Yeah.
So if you're going to use the ground on the way up, you've got to move into it first.
Yeah.
So everything we do in all these directions, we're moving in to go move out.
This was really important, this last little bit here, because I definitely felt I was struggling before that. Because I felt like I was trying to extend up.
Yeah.
I was extending up for nothing.
You missed them. Yeah, that's bad. What I did was I purposely went to the end to see if you reverse engineer the middle phase.
Yeah.
But because it's not in the repertoire, well, it wasn't in the recognisable map. It is now though, because you're starting to tap into that. So there's a lot more, if you like, it's a spring. More of this.
1, 2, 3.
We've seen where you want to go.
1, 2, 3.
It's tough, isn't it? Let's do that without the board. So it's on grass, so it should. Imagine you're on the board.
It's okay when you've not got the pressure on it.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Well done. This is totally different to you because you want to do that. Because you want to rotate, you see. Previously, you'd be using loads of rotation, and we're tapping into. You can use this back leg for support. Don't worry about. It's more just switching on sensors. So you can flex and extend. Don't think of rotation, just flex and extend. Good. And you can feel use the vertical to help you extend. Good. Have a swing. Yeah. Crazy feelings, isn't it?
I feel like I'm back.
Mm.
There you go.
That was lovely.
That's creating this load, boom, creates the load through the wrist instead of it being down here. So you're going to go up and you'll bang the board to cock the wrist at the back. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Now you're talking, Tony. Yes.
Yeah.
Let that wrist and elbow go. Let him go on the way back. Yes, that's it. Let the weight of the golf club cock the wrist under the load. Yeah. That elbow, the wrist. You got to let that freewheel more. What's tension in this is the loading into the floor. That's what loads the lever system, basically. This is reacting. It's like throwing a ball. When you throw a ball, you don't just keep going back, do you? What cocks the wrist? This movement forward.
Yeah.
It's an eccentric loading that cocks. So, same thing. So what you just did then was very much in the ballpark. Yeah, but let it all go. Tap back first to throw it back, and then. Yeah, this is awesome. It's so far removed. But it had to be. Yes. Tony, that's unreal. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, that timing's way different.
Oh,
Yeah,
Tony.
That was different.
very different.
That was very different. I don't know why, but I've always felt I've had very fast hands. But they've always been at the wrong time. They've either been fast here
Too
or
early or
fast
too
over here. But they've always felt like they're pretty fast. But they've never felt quite at that moment, at that point. So I feel like sometimes it's fast before, and then hence I get that kind of, that bottom groove.
Yeah.
And this is making them feel.
So you shallowed out too early. Your low point's a bit too far
Yeah,
back.
low point's it's too far back. Exactly. So I felt as though the maximum speed is here somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Expending your energy too early.
Which would make sense if there's no lag.
Yes.
moving quickly here, but unfortunately there's no leg to move it forward, to move the low point forward.
It becomes harder work as well because the lever arm lengthens, and now you've got to work harder.
Exactly.
Slows your rotation down in effect.
Exactly.
Whereas you're breaking the levers here and letting them all just reform later on. Yes, Tony.
Yeah, that felt great.
Tony, that looked great. It'll be interesting to see that back on the video because it looked more like this as opposed to, like you say, more of a solid unit moving. So it's like, I mean, it's only my interpretation for what it means nothing, but
No.
it looked like a free-flowing lever system. And I don't normally talk this way, but with you I will. But it all assembles itself much later because all the forces preceding it are allowing that sequence to happen, whereas you've just been inhibiting that sequence. So kind of obviously you're going to try and get speed where you can.
Exactly.
You've got loads of movement potential that you've just not been recruiting in your golf swing. It must feel that way because you're a good mover. We just need to explore that movement and then you utilise that awareness. Yes, Tony.
That was lovely.
Sharp. Does the release feel different?
Yeah, totally different. I feel like I certainly don't feel like I'm hanging back, because every now and then when I play I feel like I hang back, I feel like I give it one of them. I haven't felt any of that, not even slightly. Just one or two. So I haven't felt any of that. I felt like when I finished, I've definitely finished with the right shoulder much nearer to the target, so I feel like that's been interesting. I felt like I'm much more over my left side when I finished, as opposed to being a little bit hung back. I feel like I'm a little bit more pressure on the ball when I get it right.
Yeah. And your feedback is so detailed. It's amazing, and it's like, but this is the level that you're working at, and so that sensory input that you're acting on is helping you refine that in response to the feedback you're getting from the outcome.
I made a conscious effort this morning before I came, because I thought, this is kind of unusual for me to have a golf lesson.
Yeah.
And I thought, what I've got to do here, I've got to have the golfer's head, not the coach's head on. So make sure you have that, and try all the time to keep that mindset of the golfer, not of the coach.
Is that difficult?
I've not found it as difficult as I thought I might.
Yeah, I think I find that really difficult.
I've not found it quite as difficult as I thought I might. I think I've managed to do that reasonably well. There's a couple of times where I've sort of said, "Oh, that means," and then I've gone, "No, Tony, just play with it and let it just sit and see what it feels like." So no, I've tried to do that. That was a conscious decision as I was driving here. That come on, get that kind of golfer's mindset on, as opposed to the coach's mindset. The
player, not the coach.
Yeah, the player, not the coach. And then I think the other thing that's kind of maybe self-limiting, I suppose, in some respects, or maybe self-realisation, is that I feel like I can get that backswing bit quite easily. I don't think that's going to be any kind of issue.
No, it's not.
I think that first movement down is going to be more of a problem. And I don't say that in a way to sort of put a barrier on myself or a kind of restriction on myself. I just think that's a realisation that this is going to take some time to get the feel of that.
Yeah.
Because, as you said a minute ago, it's pretty hardwired. What I do is pretty hardwired. From 49 years of, well, no, not 49 years, but certainly 30 years of it in a lot of golf balls, and 19 years of trying to just kind of do with what you've got. And I think that's going to be the bit that I'm going to have to really override hard. To try and find a way to be able to do that. And the exercises, obviously, that are going to be done away from the range are going to probably try and is going to make that happen more than what I can do here.
I just want you to make a few swings for me and just visualise the launch angle. So just 3/4 shots, just back and forth in the air without stopping, just through there, as if you're launching it through there. That's it. And then through there. So starting to get a sense of the timing, of maybe of how you load and when you unload, and how the form of your movement adapts to the release pattern for the shot you want, but then how you naturally tweak the timing and the organisation of those forces. You're going to find what suits you, but it's like you're pressing the tennis ball and then pushing off it. It's whatever you feel you need to do for that.
You're not lacking distance anyway. Cool. That looked nice.
Feel?
That felt good.
Yeah, your movement was so different.
Strong fly.
Sorry?
Strong fly.
Yeah.
Shot.
Super.
Enjoyed it.
A lot. A lot.
Me too.
Marcus, thank you very much, mate.
It's been a privilege.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job, Tony.
Mate. Thank you.
Great job, mate.
Thanks very much. That was awesome, mate.
I'm glad you've let me have the opportunity to do it.
No, thanks for making the time. That was eye-opening as well. So, yeah, and it's challenging. It's challenged, like I said to you
doesn't
before.
it? It needs to be challenging.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, it's not challenged concepts or anything. So it's like it's just challenged the system.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
It's totally challenged the system and totally challenged the movement pattern. And it's illuminated to me that my body doesn't work in certain ways that I think it might.
Yeah, potential.
Yeah, and it can. So that once you do the exercise, you can transfer the feel from the exercise to the next shot.
Yeah.
But if you can do it once, you can do it twice, and you can do it 10 times, you can do it 20 times. It's a question of repetition to a large extent then.
You've experienced
So you can
it.
change the movement pattern. So no, brilliant, mate.
I'm just pleased you enjoyed it. That's
No, mate. It's not only is it enjoyable, but it's been illuminating as well. So
Awesome.
enjoyable is one thing, which is always good, but illuminating is also another one. So
And I got a chance to teach my mentor.
Luke Skywalker can go into the world now.
excellent, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Tony. That was awesome. Really enjoyed
What have you got on for the rest of the day?